Good evening to you, and that we certainly do. This manhunt began Saturday night and it continues here on this Monday night. There are multiple agencies with boots on the ground as we speak, both in the air and on the ground. The terrain that they are searching, it is unforgiving. It is tough forest land. We're talking about part of the Daniel Boone National Forest. Again, as I said, it is unforgiving. And so State Police says if Joseph Couch is in there, they say they want him to walk out of those woods and they want him to turn himself in. And they say until he does that or he is caught, they won't stop.
When we're looking for somebody, we have to go through those dense areas. We have to go and make sure no rock is unturned to find not just him, but to find evidence. And when you do these things with all the people involved, you've got to have communication.
We are talking about KSP, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, London Police, the FBI, the ATF. They are all here in the London, Laurel County area searching for Joseph Couch. They have to be exhausted at this point. But what we heard today in that news conference is that they absolutely will not stop. Today, we learned a lot of new information, including learning about the moments that those shots first rang out on Interstate 75 this past weekend from those drivers. We are hearing the chilling 911 calls. Those are newly released 911 calls made from the interstate, from the victims themselves and what they experienced. Multiple cars were hit. We know that 5 people were injured. WKYT's Phil Pendleton spent most of the day going through these calls and listening to just how frightened all of these folks were in those moments that those shots rang out. Phil, and certainly unbelievable to think about in those moments that you're just simply driving up the interstate, going wherever you're going, and you're in the middle of this type of mass shooting. So this manhunt is affecting a lot of different people at this hour. As a precaution, a number of schools were closed today due to the safety concern of this manhunt. In the last half of an hour, we learned that Laurel County Public Schools announced that classes will be canceled again tomorrow. We know that Lincoln County schools say that they'll be back open tomorrow with added security measures, and we're still waiting to hear from some of those other districts about what they're going to do tomorrow. Both of them and all of these districts really emphasizing the safety of their students and their staff. We have had folks on the ground all day long. We will continue to have folks here tonight. WKYT's Jeremy Toms is joining us now live from here in London. And Jeremy, what are you seeing at this hour here in London? And of course, we can all understand the anxiety that must be felt by these parents, and also Alyssa Williams today talking to a lot of people just saying it's the fear of the unknown, and we certainly understand that. Since all of this happened, law enforcement agencies, they have been trying to answer our questions about what may have led up to this violence, and many of those questions had to do with how and where Joseph Couch got the gun and ammunition they say was used in the attack. WKYT's Jessica Umbro explains Kentucky's current laws surrounding gun ownership, and she has some of the disturbing texts that Couch allegedly sent just moments before the shooting. And of course, night will soon fall here in London and Laurel County. Today, KSP in their news conference called this a methodical effort working to try and wear Joseph Couch down. It is an exhausting search, but one that they are not letting up until Joseph Couch is found. And again, state police are urging people here, if you are listening to us, to stay vigilant at this hour, to make sure that you are checking on your neighbors, to make sure that they are okay, and that if you see something, call it in. You won't be a burden to them. They want to know, but they also want you to know that this is in their hands. Do not try to take anything into your hands, despite that $15,000 reward being out there. They say let them handle this. But again, Bill, we certainly know that this is trying on people as they're trying to go about their daily lives, but also just worried here about how this will come to an end, and that they want this to come to an end very soon. good evening to you. Not a lot of details being released at this time on that shooting situation that killed Deputy Josh Phipps. That will come in time, certainly. Tonight, though, what we are learning is more about the man being called a hero. His badge, number 1442. His truck is right behind me, and even at this hour, people continue to stop by and leave mementos at his truck. A memorial now, a growing memorial to both his life and his service to this community. Deputy Josh Phipps with the Russell County Sheriff's Department was shot and killed last night while searching for a suspect. That suspect was also killed in what police are calling an exchange of gunfire. Deputy Phipps was just 38 years old. He has been with the Sheriff's Department now for 3 years. And we heard from the Russell County Sheriff today, who told us that Phipps was a brave member of the department. He was a hero, and he was always there to lend a hand.
Without disregard for his own life, he is always out there trying to serve and protect and help any way he could. You know, it's just, it's tragic that we've lost such a fine deputy.
Well, there are still so many questions about the violence that happened here last night. One woman actually returned home to find a man dead inside her mobile home, which also had severe damage. Others in the Russell Springs area, they worried that the violence had spread from a nearby park. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has been here in Russell Springs all day long. He is joining me now with the very latest on some folks who really have quite the story to tell tonight, Phil.
Brittany and I are praying for his family, for all of our law enforcement community, and for the entire Russell County community.
Governor Andy Beshear spoke about last night's deadly shooting. The governor, along with state and local law enforcement officials, held a news briefing on the ongoing search for shooting suspect Joseph Couch in Laurel County. And during that briefing, the governor paused to recognize the loss and offered condolences for Deputy Phipps' family and for the entire community. What we are hearing here today in this community is that Deputy Josh Phipps touched a lot of lives during his time in Russell Springs and the Jamestown area, from the baristas that he visited daily to the county clerk's office where he often filed paperwork. WKYT's Kelsey Soto talked with those who worked very closely with this fallen deputy to remember the impact he made, and it sounds like he made a huge impact on a lot of folks. Kelsey, been talking about this growing memorial behind us just moments ago. A young man, a youngster, stopping by to leave some flowers for this fallen deputy. We've seen adults and we've seen a lot of kiddos stopping by here today. Today in Russell County, it has been gray, it has been overcast, and it certainly fits the mood. It is very somber here. Our officers, we know, are meant to serve and protect us, and when we lose one of them, it really rips at that fabric that holds a community together. But what we're seeing in this community and what we have seen today is people coming together to not let that divide happen. They're going to spend the next several days, weeks, and months, and even years remembering this fallen deputy and loving on one another in this community to try and to get back to normal. This is very personal to you, something that you started about 30 years ago, and it's in honor of your own father. Talk to me about that.
Well, my dad was a great guy, but my dad didn't get a chance to go to school, and he couldn't read and write. And that was always kind of a trouble, you know, just something troubling to him. And I just always wanted to do something good for my dad because he was always doing something great for us. So I got the idea to start this Imagination Library program, and just to kind of in our hometown, I thought maybe it might go, you know, a couple of counties over. But everybody started taking a liking to it, and the governor at the time in Tennessee thought, this is a great program, let's go statewide with this. So we did, and next thing you know, we're in Canada. Next thing you know, we're here and there. And now we're in places all over the world, and we've given away like 240 million books since we started it. Very, very proud of it, and my dad got to live long enough to see it all doing great.
When you think about reading and you think about books and literacy and what it can do for children, how do you see that playing out?
Well, it makes me feel good to know that I might have some small part in that, because I do believe that children are most impressionable in their very young years. And I thought, well, this would be a wonderful way to teach kids to love books and to learn to read and to love to read. And so I thought just getting them when they were young would be great. And like I said, it was so precious to me because of my dad. And my dad helped a great deal in making sure that the Imagination Library was great, because he gave me a lot of good business ideas. Daddy was really smart. So this was just a program that my dad was very happy to hear that the kids were loving it. And so it's just a wonderful thing. It's a win-win all around.
Yeah.
It's emotional and personal to me, but it also makes me feel good to know that I can get that many books in the hands of that many children.
What does it mean to you? Kids know you as, you are Dolly, but a lot of kiddos, they just know you as the book lady. So what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. A lot of those kids don't even know I sing. They don't even know what else I do. I'm just the lady that sends a book to them once a month, and with their little name on it in the mailbox. So I am the book lady. And sometimes when they know that I also sing, that's just an added bonus.
Well, good afternoon to you from Churchill Downs. We are inching closer, Brian, to the running of the Kentucky Oaks, which is why we are here today.
It is one of 2 great days of racing in the Commonwealth when the Breeders' Cup is not in Lexington or Churchill. But today, you see the pink.
Yes.
And yes, lilies are pink, but it also has a much deeper meaning for a lot of people.
It's very special here. The Kentucky Oaks is a day, of course, set aside for those fillies to run for those lilies, but it's also a day set aside about marking hope and giving other women hope. This year is the 16th annual Survivors Parade, and today 150 survivors of breast and ovarian cancer will take to the track behind us, and they will celebrate beating cancer. And among them this year is a 42-year-old Nicholasville woman who recently finished her own journey with cancer. When Brandy Kane needs a moment, she retreats to her study. Inside, you'll find plenty of horse photos, and just outside the window, even a horse statue. One of Brandy's favorite places is the races, but Churchill Downs for the Kentucky Oaks is one place she's never attended until this year.
One thing about this journey, I always, was a Christian and believed in God and everything like that, but I didn't realize till this journey how strong my faith was.
Brandy has spent a lot of time in the last several months reflecting on that journey. In late 2022, the busy wife and mother had a routine mammogram scheduled. It got pushed until the new year and rescheduled again. Finally, in July of 2023, after having only her second mammogram, Brandy was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was very lucky. It's a form called DCIS, which is kind of still contained.
Brandy's cancer hadn't spread. She had a lumpectomy and then a second surgery followed by 6 weeks of radiation. That moment of ringing the bell to signify treatment was over is a day she will not forget.
To realize, something so scary, you've come out of it. And it is a scary journey, but you just surround yourself with love and support from family and friends.
It was part of that support team, her nurses during treatment, that encouraged her to sign up for a chance to be selected for this year's Oaks Survivors Parade. Brandy will be one of 150 survivors who get to take a victory lap on the track celebrating life.
I just feel blessed to be surrounded with such strong women. I mean, breast cancer is by no means a blessing, but one thing I do know is it makes you stronger and it makes you appreciate everything around you so much more.
For Brandy Kane, the Kentucky Oaks is about more than just horse racing and her own celebration of beating cancer. She's hoping her time on the track can be a source of strength for other women on their own journey with cancer.
Don't feel alone. You're not alone. There are people there who want to support you.
So it really is remarkable. In the last 15 years, the Kentucky Oaks Charitable Initiative has raised more than $1 million for breast and ovarian health awareness. And the track also donates each year $1 from the sale of those pink lily drinks to support cancer initiatives. So this day is about so much more. And Brian, I know this is a day that is very important to you as well when we're celebrating these folks.
You say that and I start choking up. Mom passed August 17th, 2001 of breast cancer. Kathy, my other mother, she's defeated it twice. And I have said for years, Dad won trophies, we won trophies in baseball, but she is the champion of the family. And could not do it without her.
Well, it's an honor to tell their stories,
Yeah.
and so that when we come out here on this Friday before Derby and wear that pink, we certainly think of all of those survivors, and we just help spread that message of hope and awareness, and also getting those life-saving screenings. We're going to have a lot more from here at Churchill Downs, but for now, that is the story here. Back to you.